Hey, Todd McFarlane here. Unfortunately, we got some bad news this past week. Adam West, the original Batman, at least in my life, was sort of my cocaine of Batman. And we used to watch him twice a week because you used to have part one and part two. So if you come over here, for some of you that are not in the know, this is Adam West, and this to me was the Cat's Meow right here. And if you see like some, look at that, look how cool he is. Look, got the batarang. Got the cool little tiny stubby ears, had the little cloth one here. So Adam West, who I was fortunate enough to be on a panel with not long ago for sort of the history of comic books, we're going to see if we can't do a tribute drawing to him real quickly. So I will go get rid of this. We'll go into our Photoshop and we'll beef it up a little bit. Did some underdrawing there to get going here, but here's the thing that was cool. Todd, let me put another layer. I need another layer. There we go. All right. So the thing that was kind of cool about Adam is that he had sort of truly almost like a square jaw, right? So he was a very handsome man. So we'll give him the square jaw here, and he had these sort of dimples, right? He was a leading actor in Hollywood. And so we'll round them up in here. And then he had sort of like these little sort of cute little pursed lips that we'll get to here in a minute. And the thing that was sort of fun, if we go to the outline of him, that he had sort of a skinny neck. Usually I sort of advocate for big fat necks, but he actually had a skinny neck. So the ears were pretty tight. The other thing that I thought was really cool was that he had sort of, you could see the seams of the costume coming. So this is the top of his head. Here's sort of the cape here, but he had this piece that was right here that I thought was super cool. That was the part of the cowl that was in there. And then he also had these little marks on the nose, and they interestingly sort of went to the edge of the nose. It basically would be where you normally put a wrinkle. And then the eyes came right where those lines were. So if we come in here and we cut the eyes up in here, right where those lines were, and then we sort of come down in the middle and we go, here's where the nose was, and I'll get into a little bit of black. And then he had these cool eyebrows that sort of went like this, that were really sort of simple, that comes up in here. So if I get all of here, and then we get into, he had the little skinny neck, but let me go black here, and I'm gonna start dropping in a lot of black. So he had the cape that was up in here, and it was cloth, so there was a lot of wrinkles in here. So let me give some long sort of striations, and I'll fill it in. There's some black there. Here we go here. Here we go here. And I'll do this real quick. Boom, we get some black in here. And then what was kind of cute was, because it was all cloth, he also then had it below here, because he had like almost like a bib, if you will, right? So if you actually look at some of the stuff that he did, he had a little bit of a bib that was down underneath him right up in here. So if I go here, we'll cut a couple pieces in here. We'll get in there real quick. We'll come in here, fill in this black here. But I want to make sure that I keep this seam, because the seam is actually sort of one of the cool parts about him. And we'll give the skinny neck up in here. Fill that in. Fill this in. Again, if I had a little more time, I'd make it a little smoother. But he had a smooth neck up in here. We'll give him a little bit of a highlight up in here. Right. Again, some highlight up in here. Keep the seam, Todd, because it's the cool part of the Batman. And then we'll come up in here and give him his eyebrows. Get up in here. Fill it all in. I'm gonna go as fast as I can. All right, so we have essentially the basics of him here. There we go. All right. So now I'll come in here. Now we'll start sort of backfilling it. So I'm going to go back in white, make sure that I keep this seam that I said was so cool. Make sure that I don't get it too fat up in here. We'll get that eyebrow that was really kind of cool up in here. Nice and round. And then the thing that was interesting, like I said, is that this eye piece came into what was this mark that was in his nose. So again, there's your guideline right here. You know, this goes up in here. And then if we start putting in an eye, then, you know, we just start doing some of the stuff that I taught you in the past. We just come in here, do a nice cool one, give a highlight in the eye up in here, put some little details up in here, and then we'll come up in here. But because it was hidden inside this cowl, it actually got pretty dark. So you could either go black with it, or you could do a lot of shading in it real quickly, because again, his eye was hidden in here, and it got pretty dark in here. So you don't have to worry about having too much detail that was in there. I can come up in here, and then cut another sort of line up in there. Now if we get a little bit smaller, then you can start to see that the eye is now inset up in here. You add a little bit of makeup back up underneath there, and then we just make sure, wow, nice, Todd. What was that? Control S. Okay, let's go in here. We'll cut the eye. Another eye. Get rid of this mess that you just made, Todd. Add some detail. Couple highlights. Cut some eye stuff in here. And again, add some shadows in here real quickly. Make this a little bit black because we want it to actually feel like it's gone inside. And we'll finish the rest of his eye up in here. Alright, now that we have that, we'll pull it back, see what we think if it looks good up in here, and if not, we can always fix it. You know, the thing that's sort of fun now is that I can sort of come in here and start adding some of the highlights and do some of the lighting effects that I need to come into and do. We'll go up in here, cut it up in here. Remember, he's got his nose piece that goes across there. Got his chin that comes up in here. We'll get this all back up in here. Again, I can cut wrinkles, add all this, add the bib, give an edge to the bib here. Boom. Add a couple of smaller wrinkles in there. And if I want, like I said, I can cut some white if I want to give some added detail, right? I'm just throwing some white pieces in here. But the thing that sort of makes Adam West is he sort of had this cute little smile that I thought sort of made him kind of handsome. I think it's sort of, we were all jealous of him a little bit. So if we go up in here, you know, he had this sort of nice little smile. Give him a little bit of smile. You know, it always had sort of a little bit of a dimple up in here. Give him his nose up in here that was always in shadows. Here's his other nose. This would be his one over here. And give a little bit of shade up in here. Square off his jaw a little bit. Give him a little bit of a handsome look right there. And then we'll come in here with his nice, he had big lips, kind of nice. And he had sort of nice top lip too. So we can give him up here and add a little spot up in here. But my guy, Michael Caine, wasn't Michael Keaton, or wasn't Val Kilmer, and it wasn't Ben Affleck or any of the other guys that have been here. It was this dude right here that just stared at me every week, twice a day. So I hope he rests in peace, and he gave us, literally, us little geeks, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of memories, because I just replay all of those over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So to Adam West, sleep well, my friend. We will never forget you. Be good. Bye.